another episode of Designing Rachel Marie. I am yours truly, Rachel Marie, and today's topic is going to be BMI and hemo. So for those of you who do not know, BMI stands for body mass index, and hemo is an abbreviation for hemoglobin. These are really important when it comes to having a plastic surgery. So I wanted to make sure I did a video to completely go into both of those so that you have a better education and understanding in regards to those. But before we get into the topic, I want to take a moment to thank everybody that's been tuning in and subscribing and liking. I truly appreciate all the love and support. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, please do so right now. Hit that little bell icon, and that's going to notify you every time I upload a video. I have been actually slacking, and I will be the first to admit I have been slacking on posting my videos. I initially came into this like 2 to 3 times a week, and I've been doing good just to do once a week. So with that being said, I'm going to really try my hardest in the near to increase my content and trying to get those 2 to 3 videos a week. It's just been really hard to set and make the time to do so. Like today, for an example, I literally went straight from work to the gym. From the gym, stopped and got me a protein shake and drank my shake, and I'm recording. So like literally I haven't even been able to attend to anything in my house, my own personal hygiene. So if again I'm on here looking funky, please excuse me, because I have a very strict routine right now. And again, I want to make sure that I'm fulfilling my obligations to you guys, as well as the things that I know I need to do in order to make myself productive and, constructive in what I'm going into. So right now for me, the gym is a critical, like I can't miss it. My body's about to go through a lot of trauma, and I want to make sure that I'm in the best shape that I could possibly be in going into that situation. So right now we are literally at 27 days and counting. I'm excited about that, and these 27 days are critical to me. If you did not watch my last video, please do. There were major changes, because right now we actually should be at 21 days, but due to the change, we're at 27. So if you want to know what that change is, go back to the video that says major changes and watch that, and then you'll know. So going into today's topic. Okay, I wrote notes. As you guys already know, I always make notes so I can make sure that I'm staying on subject, and I, hit all my little bullet points in reference to what I wanted to bring up. So BMI requirements. I want to go into this first. So for those of you who do not know, body mass index. Basically what body mass index is your weight in relation to your height. Okay, so you can go on Google and you can literally just type in BMI calculator, and they have calculators that will calculate this for you. You put in your height, and then you put in your weight, and then it tells you your BMI. So it's really simple to figure out, and get your BMI. And then of course, as you lose weight, your BMI drops. As you gain weight, it goes up. You get the gist. So anyway, with the body mass indicator, a lot of surgeons, that's one of their requirements. Excuse me, I don't know why I keep burping. But that's a lot of their requirements is the BMI. So certain doctors have different BMI requirements. So I'm going to give you an example. The doctor that I was initially going to for my surgery, which is Dr. Mejia, his BMI requirement is a 36 and under. So a 36 and under was his BMI requirement. The doctor that I switched to, who is Dr. Duran, her BMI requirement is a 33 and under. So with that being said, you have to be a little bit smaller in order for Dr. Duran to work on you than you would have to be for Dr. Mejia. These BMI requirements vary per doctor. It is whatever they choose. Now in the United States, what most doctors require is that your BMI is under a 30. So that's another advantage to going and getting surgery outside of the United States, is the BMI requirements are different. And that's another reason why a lot of people go to another country to get surgery, because of the BMI requirements. You have some heavier set women, and basically they just want a small waist and they're okay with keeping their thighs and their hips and all of that. They are perfectly fine with being curvy. These other countries recognize that, whereas in the USA, it's going to be harder to get somebody to operate on you. Let's say you have a BMI of 38. It's going to be nearly impossible to find anybody that's going to operate on you, even if you don't look like your BMI is even that much and you don't even, look fat or whatever. It's just how they are. And so it is what it is in that situation. I'm not going to try to come up with a million reasons as to why they do what they do and why they shouldn't. And that's just over our heads. So anyway, going into Dr. Duran, who I chose to go with, my BMI has to be a 33 or under, which I am fine at this point. And I've actually been trying to like make sure I stayed like completely on top of everything. When I was going to Dr. Mejia, I had a lot of wiggle room going into that. But now that I'm going into Duran, I'm like very critical on what I'm eating, trying to make sure that my BMI don't move and don't go up. And again, another concern of mine is to make sure that I was going to have the proper amount of fat in order to do the BBL, because a lot of the fat that I have is in my abdomen area, and with the tummy tuck, that all gets removed. So the fat that I'll be able to use is going to be the fat in my back, which I think I've harvested, a lot of decent good fat in my back, but we'll see when the surgery happens and they'll tell me. So that gives you the BMI. Check with your doctor. Well, actually, you wouldn't even have to check. Once you get a quote from a doctor, they're going to tell you their BMI requirements off the flip. So, and if you're not those requirements at surgery, they will not operate on you. So this is really important. And it's actually a very prominent topic in my surgery groups, is like getting your BMI to the certain level, finding doctors that operate on certain BMI levels, and then making sure that your weight is where it needs to be. Because like a lot of doctors, they'll give you a quote and they'll say, okay, I want you to lose 10 to 15 pounds before surgery. So that's a lot of added pressure for a lot of dolls, is trying to lose that weight in a short amount of time, but also still remain healthy so that way they can get the surgery. So it's a lot going into this, but BMI is a big thing. So try to get as close as you can before booking your surgery to your ideal body weight, so that way you're not under a lot of stress preparing for surgery, also trying to lose weight. That was the one thing that I was happy that I didn't have to do, is like really being a crunch to lose weight, because I had lost my weight. So really my thing is making sure that I maintain the weight, which in my opinion isn't that much to really stress over, because even after this surgery, I have to maintain my weight or the surgery is all for nothing. So you want to make sure that you've mastered the skill, or at least are getting very comfortable with mastering how to maintain your weight, because after you get this surgery, you're going to also have to make some more changes to maintain the new body that you're going to have. Because if you don't, then you will go back to what you were before, and then you've spent your money for nothing, and you put your body through all that trauma for nothing. And to me, it's just not worth it. If you're going to do it, you have to be willing to make the proper changes in order to reap the benefits of the changes and for them to be long term. I've been through a lot within my struggle and of just trying to lose weight and keep it off and all of that. And I'll be damned. I'll be damned if I go back to where I was. So I'm grinding hard right now, as you can see. Oh, I keep looking at my hair, my edges, honey. I'm not taking this stuff down until like a week or so before surgery. So y'all get used to this little ponytail hairstyle. Sorry. Okay, moving right along. On hemo levels, this is another big topic on hemo. Like, you get girls really stressing out over their hemoglobin levels, because this is not something that you can just detect on your own. In order for you to check your hemoglobin levels, you have to actually go to the doctor and get a CBC run to test your hemoglobin levels. And every time you go to the doctor to do that, that's a bill. And you don't really know how you're doing with increasing them until you just go get it checked. So my struggle initially, when I decided that I was going to have surgery, I went probably, it was like 4 months ago 4 or 5 months ago, once I knew that it was getting close, I got my hemoglobin tested. I was already taking the iron pills or whatever, and, you know, just trying to do some little stuff to get it up, but I wasn't really serious about it until I got it checked. When I got my hemoglobin checked, I was at a 10.2, and that's horrible. That's anemic, and it needed to be, okay, so for any surgery, it has to be a 12 or above. If you are getting more than 3 procedures, it has to be a 13 or above. So with me being at a 10.2, obviously you can see I couldn't have gotten any surgery with my hemoglobin at a 10.2. Period. That's horrible. And after I got it checked, it made sense on why I was always tired. Just a lot of different things that were going on with my body that I wasn't able to like put my finger on to determine what exactly was wrong with me. It made sense when they came back and they told me my hemoglobin levels as well as my ferritin levels, because that's important as well in regards to the stores of iron that you have. So I had almost depleted my ferritin levels and my hemoglobin was low on top of that. So it made a whole lot of sense for me once I got all of that checked to be able to figure out why I was acting the way that I was acting and feeling the way I was feeling in relation to what was really going on with my body. So for any of you dolls that are watching this, I recommend going to get that done. You can go to your regular primary care physician and they will order up all your labs. I recommend doing a full check, because that's what I came to my doctor and said. I said, I'm going into surgery. I need you to check everything under the sun. My cholesterol, I need you to check my vitamin D. I want you to run a full panel, my thyroids, run it all. And I'll do another video going over all the things that she ran and so forth and my results for that if you guys need help with that as well. But moving into the hemo levels. So I took some notes here to kind of help some of you dolls if you have not went to go see your primary care physician and you're trying to figure out how to get your hemoglobin levels up, and also just helping you understand what this is all about and what this is. So, okay, hemoglobin. I wrote down the actual definition for hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is the protein molecule in red blood cells that carries oxygen from the lungs to the body's tissues and returns carbon dioxide from the tissues back to the lungs. So let me repeat that for y'all. Hemoglobin is the protein molecule in red blood cells that carries oxygen from the lungs to the body's tissues and then returns carbon dioxide from the tissues back to the lungs. So as you can see, that's really important, right? Doesn't that sound important for your body? So it's really important, whether you're going into surgery or not, to really know what's going on with you in regards to your hemo. So again, I told you the hemo is measured by CBC, which stands for a complete blood test count. Complete blood count test. So that's what CBC stands for. So again, normal ranges, I wrote down normal ranges for women and men. So normal ranges for women is a 12 to a 16. For a male, it's a 14 to a 18. And then it decreases after middle age. So also it's lower in growing children, but it's the highest in infants, which is kind of nice, because infants have the higher hemoglobin levels, but for children, it's a little bit lower than what the requirement is for a woman or a man, you know, in their adult prime. So I wrote some other notes here that I wanted to go into, and this was just some stuff that I was able to read over, and I felt like it was important and I wanted to share with you guys. So low hemo is referred to as anemia. I know a lot of people have heard I'm anemic, or you've heard people say that. That's what that means. Basically, their hemo is low, so they are considered anemic. So it's referred to as anemia. Many cases for anemia, but more common causes could be nutritional deficiency. And this could be nutritional deficiency in iron, vitamin B12, and folate. So if you've already received, or if you watched my video on the prescriptions that I'm taking, if you're listening to what I'm saying right now, now you see why the doctors are telling you to take the prescriptions that they're telling you to take. Number one, iron. That's a prescription pill that they're having me take. B12, that's in your B complex. And I'm also, once I realized how important B12 is, I actually added in a B12 gummy to my vitamin ritual. So I also take the B complex, which also has B12 and all your B vitamins, but I also take a B12 on top of that. So the B12 and then the folic acid. I'm taking currently 5 milligrams, which is a higher dose. I've seen other doctors only, prescribe 1 milligram or whatever. I'm taking 5 milligrams of folic acid a day. So now you can see why your doctor prescribes these prescriptions. Those 3 things are typically the reason why a person would be anemic. So again, all of those things that I'm listing, those vitamins, you should be taking if you are about to have surgery. That needs to be on your list. You need to get those things. They are important. I can't stress it enough. Okay, so another thing that you can do to increase your iron levels is increase your intake of iron-rich foods such as eggs, spinach, artichokes, beans, lean meats, and seafood. And foods rich in cofactors such as vitamin B12, folic acid, B6, and vitamin C are important for maintaining normal hemo levels. So again, these are just a handful of foods. You can also do your own research and Google foods that are rich in fiber. These are just a handful. Again, those are eggs, spinach, artichokes, beans, lean meats, and seafood. I don't eat beans, so that's out of the question. I don't eat artichokes unless I'm eating spinach artichoke dip, and I pull those out. So I don't eat artichokes. So the only things that I can really get it from is my lean meats, seafood. I do eat seafood, and I'm very finicky over what seafoods I will eat. But eggs, I eat those daily. Typically, I eat eggs in the morning for breakfast, and that would be a good way to get that in. Spinach. If you eat salads a lot, what I do instead of just using regular leaves, salad lettuce, I use spinach leaves. Spinach leaves and kale leaves, those are also really good sources of iron. So typically, when I eat a salad, I'll do those leaves instead of just regular lettuce. So those are just some ideas that you can implement in order to get your levels up if they have not been. But again, if you have not had your levels ran, I recommend doing that as soon as possible, because that's the only way that you're going to know where you're at. And when I got mine done, I was shocked that mine was that low. Like, I knew that I had a history of being anemic. And then also because I had the gastric sleeve surgery, I knew my body was different in regards to absorbing different vitamins. So when I went to my PCP and she figured out that my levels were that low, she was actually scared that maybe my body wasn't absorbing anymore because of the gastric sleeve. And that is one of the side effects that they say, is that your body can stop absorbing the vitamins that it needs from the foods normal because a part of your stomach is removed. So to all my dogs that are thinking about getting a gastric sleeve, and I need to make a video giving some more information about that, but nobody's really requested it yet, so that's why I've kind of just put it on the hold, and maybe I'll do it later. But with that being said, you can develop a condition where your body just doesn't absorb. So my doctor initially was scared that my levels were low because my body wasn't absorbing it. So what we did is I had my blood drawn. We went back 2 months later and I had my blood redrawn to see if my levels were increasing. My doctor said if my levels did not increase, that means that my body had not been absorbing and it's not going to absorb, which means that we were going to have to order iron infusions. And if my body did absorb, my levels would go up, and then I could just continue on the same ritual up into surgery. Thank God my levels went up. When I went, I was at a 12.2. So I went up. I'm still not quite at the 13 that I need to be, but I still have the time to do that. And with the extra things that I'm implementing, I don't have any worries that I'm going to get to the 13 before I get to the DR. And even if I get to the DR and it's a little bit lower, they have different things that they can have you do to get your hemo up. So, and with me flying in on a Sunday and having surgery on a Tuesday, if my levels are not where they need to be, it kind of gives me a little bit of time to get them there, with either an iron infusion. They got hemo drinks, they got all kind of stuff. But beet juice is really important as well. I found out into helping your iron levels increase. Drink a lot of beet juice. It tastes horrible. They also got beet juice shots. They got beet juice shots that are mixed with the greens. And you can drink those. Those will help you when you're taking your iron pills. And then always when you take your iron pills, take them with vitamin C, because that helps the iron better absorb. But I'll do another video if it is needed in regards to increasing those hemo levels as I'm continuing to learn stuff about them. Because that's a big thing in the group that I'm in. It is so many women struggling because their hemoglobin levels are not where they need to be. And they are like right there close to surgery. And if they don't get those levels up, they can't have surgery. You can fly over there and play if you want. Like a couple, points off. All right, they can get that up overnight. But if you are at a 11 and you're supposed to be at a 13, that's not going to happen overnight, sweetie. You needed to be working on that prior to going over there. Like, you going to make yourself mad and irritated by not doing your due diligence and checking this stuff before you get on that flight. And that, sadly, is what a lot of people do. They think just because they got the money, they can just go over there and it's going to happen. You have to do the work. I can't express that enough. This is work. This is not, oh, I'm about to go get snatched. And this is work. Like, I'm preparing for this like I prepared for the birth of one of my children. Like, like, this is your life. This is your life. Like, you should, should be really important to you, because you can go over there and play if you want and be fucked up. And I don't think anybody wants that. Please excuse my language. So I'm just expressing to you, dolls, how important it is to take your health seriously and do the things that you need to do in order to make sure you're going to have a successful surgery. It's just biting down temporarily to make sure that things turn out okay. And trust me, I have my moments where I slip as well, but I remember what I am doing this for, and I know that I'm doing this for me. And at the end of the day, when I know that I'm doing it for me, I'm gonna give my all. Now, I might slip and fall off here and there, but for the most part, I'm on spot with what I need to do when I need to do it. Like, I've had other little struggles and battles that I've had to overcome throughout this process, and I was able to overcome some struggles and battles that I didn't think that I would ever knock. Like, some true issues that I didn't think I was going to come over, and I did, because I'm preparing for this surgery, and it's really, really, really important to me. So if this is important to you, you're going to do what needs to be done. If it's not, then you won't. So until next time, I'm going to go ahead and close this video off because I've ran my mouth again. But I thank each and every one of you again for tuning in. If you did not do it earlier, please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you like what I was talking about. And we'll have another video up pretty soon. Again, I apologize for spacing these videos out. I promise I'm going to get better. But tomorrow's last day, so I had to get it out of the way today. I love my lashes. Anyway, thank you guys again, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Every single day